Hi, welcome back to Soggy Granola. I'm so glad you're here. Today's video is about toy rotation. So I'm going to be sharing with you 5 reasons that toy rotation is the best approach to a child's playtime. And I'm going to take you with me and show you how I rotate my son's toys. So first things first, what the heck is a toy rotation? A toy rotation is limiting the number of toys and books available to your child at any given time. There are many benefits with this, but I'm going to share with you my top 5. The first reason that a toy rotation is so beneficial is because it lessens your cleanup time. When you limit the amount of toys that you have out for your child to play with, that also means that that's less toys that you have to put away at the end of the night. And if you follow the Montessori method, which if that's a new term for you or if you're new to Montessori, I'll link a video I recently did up here kind of going over that more in depth. But Montessori also aids in a more quick and timely cleanup because each item has its own home. As a busy mom, I can really appreciate having a quicker cleanup time. Plus, it's easier to get your kids involved when the workload is a lot smaller. So definitely love that it saves time for cleanup. The second reason that toy rotation is so amazing is because it helps to avoid overwhelm and distraction. When your child has limited toys to play with, they can really focus on those toys and not be overwhelmed with a lot of different options. As an adult, I do find that if I have a lot of options, it's harder to make a decision. And it's the same for our little ones. If they have all of these toys available to them, choosing a toy can be overwhelming, not to mention the mess of having a lot of toys can be overwhelming. So I love that this kind of helps to streamline that, gives them less options, which takes away that overwhelm and also distraction. Number 3 is that it actually provides more room for your child to play. When you have less toys, you need less storage, and when you have less storage, that leaves more floor space for your child to actually play and explore with the toys that they do have. So you'll see when I take you down to our playroom, the center of our playroom is completely open, which allows my son to pick an activity or a toy or something to play with and have this space to actually play with that. Not to mention, kids love to run and jump and play, and so giving them that extra space can be beneficial in getting out some of that energy, especially if you have a balance beam or a wobble board or ways that you can set up different obstacle courses. So having that open floor space is really beneficial. Number 4 is fostering individualized interests. For example, if my son is really interested in cars and trucks, I can put toys out that foster that interest that he's interested in at the time. So it creates a really individualized experience for your child to explore and engage with things that they're already interested in, which is going to keep their attention longer. I love the versatility of that, being able to swap out his toys based on what he's interested in at the time. Number 5 is saving money. Yes, a toy rotation can save you money, and here's why. When you're being really intentional about the toys that you're bringing into your house, because you only are putting a few out at a time, you aren't going to be constantly buying new toys for your little one. So while you may spend a larger amount of money on a toy that's going to last for a long time, for example, we follow the Montessori method, so we like sticking to toys that are wood and natural materials. These are going to last so long, and they're going to be able to be rotated in and out of his playroom so many times throughout the years. When you are being intentional about that, you aren't buying all of the newest, latest, greatest toys. You aren't buying toys every time you're going to the store with your little one because they've lost interest in the large toy bin that they have. So you buy them new toys, and then those toys end up at the bottom of the toy bin. Then they end up broken with pieces missing. A toy rotation really allows you to focus on a certain number of toys. And so when you're focusing on that number of toys and you rotate them in and out based on your child's interest, you don't need to keep adding to that collection of toys, because when your child sees a toy they haven't seen in a month or 2 months or 3 months, depending on your toy rotation, that toy is going to engage their interest instead of constantly having to buy something new. So a toy rotation can actually save you money. So those are the 5 reasons that a toy rotation is hands down the best approach to your child's play. I'm going to take you with me into our playroom so that we can rotate my son's toys. I am going to bring out my bins that I use to store the toys that are not in rotation, and I'm gonna start putting away the things that are currently out. We're gonna be focusing on this 6 cube that holds his toys. Typically, I will do a toy rotation the same time that I'm decorating his playroom and putting out new books, just so that everything is fresh at the same time. So that happens about once a month, but it's been a little while since I've done a toy rotation. So we're gonna focus on his toys. The kitchen stays out all the time, his pickler, his nugget stays out all the time. Like I said, his books get rotated monthly, and I just did that. So it's all about toys today. So as you can see, this is our current setup for his toys. When I'm replacing toys or activities, I like to replace it with something similar if he's still showing an interest. If he's no longer showing an interest, I will completely swap it out with something different. But my main goal at the end of this is to have each cube with a different theme of activity so that all 6 cubes aren't cars or they're not all peg people. I like to create variety for him. So this is my, oh my goodness, my big tote that I keep all of our extra toys in. And so I will pull this out and kind of evaluate what I'm going to swap out. So this is his car cube, and he loves playing with cars. So I'm actually gonna leave some of them here, but it's gotten a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to just pare down what I leave out and put some of those away. I love storing his toys in Ziploc bags inside of the tote bin. This allows me to keep all of that toy or all of the pieces for that activity together so that I'm just pulling out a bag instead of searching through a bin for all of the pieces. For his cars, I have pared it down significantly. I have his 3 little wooden cars here, which he loves, along with some of his stop signs. And then I'm also going to leave out 1 or 2 of these monster truck toys. He loves ramping them off of his balance board. So I want to leave some of those because I know that he really enjoys that, but we really only need 1 container for this activity. I got these off of Amazon in a 2-pack. Next up is this pop-up toy here. He loves this toy. He plays with it frequently, but it has been out for quite a while. So I'm gonna put it away and bring out something else that I know that he enjoys, like this Grimm's threading tool. So it comes with these different colored bobbins, and then of course the threading tool, and each bobbin corresponds with the matching peg on the bottom. So it's great for color recognition, color matching, and then also fine motor by stringing them onto here. Now, one thing that I like to do when I'm cleaning his playroom at the end of the night, or if I'm doing a toy rotation, is I like to store his toys so that they're not put together, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna dump these in here because it creates an invitation to play. When he sees that this has all of the pieces and parts, but it's not put together, it's more inviting and engaging, so more of an invitation to play instead of him having to tear it apart and put it together, which he also likes doing. So either way is fine. This is just how I prefer to do it. All right, next are these peg people. Now, he loves playing with animals and peg dolls, so I do like to keep some on the shelf. I just will rotate them out. This has gotten a little bit excessive. So I'm gonna clear this off, evaluate what I wanna put back, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm gonna swap some of these out. So I'm going to take the current peg people, which if you are interested, I actually bought these raw wood off of Amazon and painted them myself and love how they turned out. Plus, I love that you can customize them to whatever color theme your playroom is. So if you're interested in a tutorial on that, let me know. I would be happy to put one together. So I have it pared down to 6 peg people. I'm happy with that. But I also found these little wooden houses at Target from the dollar spot, and I think they were a great deal. So you get 4 of them in these different colors. You can also buy them all in just this natural wood color. And then I also picked up 2 of the larger ones as well. So it was $5 for this set and $5 for the set of 4. They are solid wood. It is such a great deal. So I'm gonna incorporate these with his Little World play. Now typically I have his Peg People and his animals on this shelf, but I actually have an addition of the Hearth in Hand wooden play trees. I think these are beautifully made. I've been looking for these, but they're so expensive on Etsy. So if you can find these in your Target, I highly recommend. It is a pack of 6 of them for $10. So typically, as I mentioned, I have his Peg People and his animals on one cube. I'm actually gonna separate it and put his Peg People up here and his animals on the bottom. Last 2 cubes are toys that he actually got for his birthday, which he has been enjoying. This is a little box with a drawer. It comes with the coins so he can pop them in the top and then he can retrieve them. So I love this toy. But I'm going to be replacing it today with these puzzle type pieces. So each one, there are 4 in here, and each one is a block of wood. And it comes with 4 pegs that only fit inside one hole. So it's a self-correcting toy, which I love. So I'm going to take 2 of these and put them in here. As I mentioned, I like to empty them out so it's an invitation to play. So I'm going to choose 2 that aren't very similar. Okay, so I picked out the 2 that I wanted. So again, I'm probably gonna just dump one out. That way it's an invitation, but it also is showing him what needs to be done. So I'm gonna dump one out, leave the other one put together. So that takes care of that one. And then last but not least, we have this guy. This is super cool. I really love this one. It is a little tool set that comes with things that he can screw in. It comes with a real screwdriver, an Allen wrench. Love this toy so much. We are gonna replace it with a stacking toy. So this is what I'm gonna be replacing it with. It is just a stacking toy by color. So you can take off these pieces and put them back on. This is by Hape, and as per usual, we are going to dump for an invitation to play. So we'll stick this back on the shelf for him. And last but not least, for this cube of toys, I'm going to be adding this tube of trees. I got this at Michael's, and he does have the wooden trees down by his animals, but I'm actually gonna add these in with his cars to create a little bit more substance in that bin, but also show him a different way to play with the trees by building a track. So we have his cars. We're just gonna put the trees in there. So now he has some trees, cars, and some little directional signage as well. And I'm going to leave out his train track, which you can kind of see over that way, so that he can continue to build a track and play with his cars. So if you remember, I had this car track down here on the bottom, and since I'm taking up an extra cube for his animals, I'm actually gonna put this car track at the base of the stairs on our little tray. I typically like to keep 1 or 2 toys down there, and I think that this is a great piece to keep there because he's still really interested in it. Plus, it's a toy that he likes to parallel play with. So I'm gonna leave this out, I'll show you that. And then on the bottom of this shelf is where I put his little car track. So he still has access to it, it's just in a different spot. All right, so here's a look at what I have left out and what it looks like now. I have up top this Grimm's lacing toy with the bobbins. Below, I have his cars with some trees and some directional signage that he can build with this track. Next, I have his animals with some trees and houses. And above that, I have his Peg People with some additional houses. And then lastly, I have this stacking color toy and a wood peg puzzle. This creates different ways for him to play. There's different activities that require different skills, and I think it's going to keep him busy for quite a while. So that wraps up today's video. I hope that you found this video informational. Let me know down in the comments below if you do a toy rotation with your little one, and if not, if you're going to start. I love hearing from you guys. If you did find this helpful, I would love if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I post new videos on Tuesdays and Fridays and would love for you to be part of this community. It was so great having you today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.